Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Gumbo for the Soul podcast. This podcast was inspired by my series. My series is called Gumbo for the Soul Cookbook. I have an adult version. The subtitle is Affirmations, Faith, and Food. And I also have a children's version. And the title of it is Gumbo for the Soul, Children's Cookbook, and Affirmations. In the children's cookbook, you will find several recipes and affirmations that you and your children can do together. The cookbook can also be used in a school setting, or it can be used in a homeschool setting as well. It is full of recipes and affirmations that you can do with your children or with your students. In the adult version, there are affirmations, there are scriptures, and there are verses. In my previous podcast, um, I tied it all together. I talked about how affirmations, faith, and food help me to, maintain balance or stay in my happy place. One of the affirmations that I say every morning is, I am successful. So, what does it mean to be successful? Think about that. What does it mean to you? What is the definition of successful for you? It's not the same for everybody. Everybody has a different definition of success or being successful. All right, the definition of success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, the good or bad outcome of an undertaking. So you can be successful in a positive way, and you can also be successful in a negative way. If you're successful, that means that you are accomplishing. That means that you keep on reaching a goal. You keep on um, growing in your purpose, or uh, you're continuously walking in your purpose. Um, One of the songs that come to mind is Intentional. Intentional is by Travis Green. It talks about how God is intentional, He is never failing. So, the same way that God is intentional and He is never failing, the verse that I think about is Romans 8:28. It says, "And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to His purpose." So, God is successful, and God was successful when He created me and when He created everyone else. So, if God can be intentional and God can be successful, that means that I can be intentional and I can be successful as well. So, whatever goal that I'm trying to achieve, I can be victorious, I can be triumphant. And we don't believe in luck, it's not luck. We believe in being blessed. So, in my daily self reflection, I also talk about the different things that I was successful at in the run of the day. I don't focus on the things that I wasn't successful at. So, what was I successful in? So, today I was successful in waking up. I opened my eyes. I got up out of the bed. I was able to use my 2 feet. There are a lot of people that can't use their 2 feet. There's some people that, even when they use their 2 feet, it's painful. And that's the case for me on a daily basis. I deal with chronic pain, but even though I deal with chronic pain, I'm still able to use my legs. I'm still able to use my arms. I'm still able to see. I was successful at opening my eyes. I was successful at being able to see today. There are some people who are not successful in being able to open their eyes. They were not successful in being able to see. I can use my mouth. I can speak. There are some people that can't talk. They want to talk and they can't talk. Like I said, the first thing that we should be grateful for is the fact that we woke up this morning. There are a lot of people that did not wake up this morning. I know that I have a purpose. I know that I am successful, even if it's just a small thing. If I was able to fix myself something to eat, there are some people who can't fix themselves anything to eat. If I was able to order something, maybe I had to order DoorDash because I couldn't fix myself something to eat. There are some people who can't afford to order DoorDash. There are some people who didn't have anything to eat. They couldn't eat breakfast. I was successful at waking my children up. Well, actually, they were successful. They woke themselves up. Well, actually, my baby woke himself up, and then he woke us up. My baby did, but I was successful at making sure that he was fed, making sure that he was dressed, making sure that he was clean, making sure that he was able to enjoy himself today. I was also successful at not raising my voice. That's one of the goals that I have in my household. We're going to have a calm and loving and encouraging household. We use our inside voices. I was successful at using my inside voice this morning. I teach my 4-year old. We have an inside voice and we have an outside voice. And he will tell you at 4 years old, if you raise your voice, he will tell you that now. So I was successful at teaching that lesson to him that we do not have to yell at each other. We can get our point across without raising our voices. That is a trigger for me. I do not like to be yelled at because it's not necessary. You don't have to yell to get your point across. You can use your inside voice. I was successful at getting myself dressed this morning. I was successful at brushing my teeth. So sometimes when we think about the word success, we may think about a job, we may think about money, we may think about a house, we may think about a car, but it's not just about those, monetary things or those tangible or those physical things. I was successful at being kind today. I was successful at being happy today. There is more than one thing that we can be successful in. I was successful at helping someone else today. I was successful at putting a smile on someone else's face today. Even though, like, say, if, I was driving in traffic and, somebody cut me off, I was successful at not flipping them off. I was successful at not cursing them out. Just sometimes we have to take a step back and just take a thing piece by piece or part by part. It's okay to look at the big picture and look at the overall picture, but then you also have to go back and self reflect and break down all the steps that it took to get to that bigger picture or to get to that goal. So, you can have short term goals and you can have long term goals. It's very important to not get bogged down, and not to be hard on yourself if you don't accomplish something. You can you can applaud yourself and congratulate yourself at the steps that you did accomplish. One example that comes to mind is when I was in college, getting my teaching degree. I was taking a course called Math for Teachers, and math hasn't always been a strength for me. Like I would have a report card, when I was in school, I would have all A's and I would have like a B in math. And I was upset about that. But when I got to college, I met a professor and she basically told me that, you know what? It's not that you don't understand math. It's not that you don't understand it. She said you understand some of it. She said you have to look at your brain like a piece of Swiss cheese. And she drew a piece of cheese, like a wedge, like a triangle shaped wedge of cheese. And she drew it out on a piece of paper and she put a lot of circles in it. And so she said, okay, here you understand multiplication. She put in one hole, she wrote, you understand division. In another hole, she put, you understand addition. Another hole, all the different terms that we were learning, in that class, math for teachers. So she put a lot of mathematical terms in those holes. Then she left some of those holes blank, and she said, "This is you. This is your brain. This is how you have to look at it. Because if you're working a algebraic problem and it has 10 steps to it, I would get to the problem and I would say, you know what, I don't know how to do that, and I wouldn't even try. But she said, I'm gonna give you this problem, and she literally let me come in an hour before class started, and she let me stay an hour after class started. She basically tutored me on her personal time. to make sure that I was able to pass that class. So she would give me a problem, a algebraic equation, and she would say, "Go ahead, work that." And I would say, "I don't know how." And she would say, "Yes, you do. You do know how." So I would do step one. I knew step one. I knew step two. I knew step three, and then I would go on to step four. And once I got to step five, then I would say, now she said, "But look at what you just did. You knew step one, two, three, and four. So you do know how to do the problem. It's just that one step. Once you get to that one step, you don't know how to do that one step. So once you figure out how to do that one step, then I could finish the rest of the problem." And that is exactly how my brain works. And I know I'm not the only person that learns and thinks like that. Sometimes we complicate things, and sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit when it comes to the knowledge that we have and the wisdom that we have acquired through the years. So you have to say to yourself, "I am successful." There may be some things that I don't know how to do, but there are a lot of things that I do know how to do. So don't forget to do that in your daily walk. If you can't say 10 affirmations a day, you can start with that one affirmation. "I am successful. I woke up this morning. I was able to clothe myself, dress myself. I was able to feed myself, whether you cooked or whether you ordered it or whether you had to go pick it up through drive-through. You were still able to accomplish those things." So we have a purpose. We can be intentional and we should be intentional with everything that we do. We should be intentional. We shouldn't waste time. We shouldn't waste space. We shouldn't have the, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Every situation, every person, every relationship is a lesson. There are no regrets. There are only lessons. We don't lose. We just learn things. Maybe I didn't accomplish it this time, but what did I learn from that situation? Whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, um, whether it's your finances, whether it's a company, whether it's your business. Sometimes you have to press pause, regroup, and start over. But you have to have a firm belief in yourself that you are successful. God was intentional when He made you, He was intentional when He created you. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God. So if you are doing the right thing and you're making all the right choices, you will reap what you sow. So as long as you make the right choices and as long as you do good things, I tell my 4-year-old, we say this all the time: good choices, good consequences; bad choices, bad consequences. You can be successful in a negative way. So any of the things that you think of that are bad things, you can be a successful smoker. You can be a successful drinker. But why would you? Why would you want to be successful at things that are not healthy? Things that are not going to help you reach your goals. So you should flip that and say, "I am successful." Think about all the positive things that you are successful at. So maybe you did not finish school, but you finished to whatever grade you finished. And then after you didn't finish, what did you do after that? Did you get your GED? Did you go to school online? Like, are you doing something where you're working with your hands? Like, college is not for everybody. So, we shouldn't beat ourselves up if we never went to college, or if maybe we went to college and we didn't make it. Maybe you weren't mentally ready. So you shouldn't beat yourself up about that. Think about what you are successful in. Maybe you're a plumber, maybe you're a mechanic. All those jobs are necessary. So we shouldn't try to force that on our children either. I plan on not doing that with my children. I plan on giving them, all the skills that they need to become whatever it is that they have a desire to do. That's my plan right now. So, we'll see how it goes, but that's my plan right now. So, always remember, you are smart, you are blessed, you are loved, and you can do anything. Until next time, thanks for listening.